All right, guys, so in the past few weeks, the left has revealed themselves to be who they truly are and what they really care about. And this has been brought about by the legislators of states like Texas and Florida that are passing common sense laws and regulations that normal, sane people should agree with, right? In Texas, they're saying, hey, listen, we don't want children undergoing sex change operations and permanent changes to their body that they're going to regret later on in life. Okay, we simply just want kids to wait until they're old enough to understand the ramifications of such decisions, right? This has caused a whole lot of outrage, right? Democrats have come out in force endorsing the idea that children should be able to castrate themselves. You have Beto all for it, right? He's campaigning on this, okay? And in Florida, the Democrats have smeared the Parents' Rights and Education bill that they passed over there as the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, right? That's what they're calling it. They are basically lying and telling the public that the Florida legislature, Republicans, are trying to stop people from being able to say the word gay, okay, in schools, in public schools. That's what they're saying. When quite simply, the bill is really more about transparency so that parents understand more about what's going on in schools, what materials their kids are receiving, what information are they being asked for. And there's a little line in there that also states that teachers can't be discussing gender identity and sexual orientation with kindergartners through third graders. And for whatever reason, that has drove some of these people absolutely insane to the point where big woke companies like Disney have decided to get involved, okay? As the CEO of Disney tried to lobby Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, on this bill to try to stop it, okay? But Ron DeSantis wasn't having it. He was like, listen, I don't take orders from big woke corporations. I take orders from the people. Okay, rare moment where you see a politician standing up to corporate America. Rare moment. Good for Ron DeSantis. But one of the reasons why the Disney CEO actually spoke out is because he was pressured to from his employees. Okay, he has a whole lot of woke employees that didn't like the fact that he wasn't doing enough according to them, to the point where they have demanded that Disney restore a lesbian kissing scene in one of their Pixar movies, right? And they've also staged a walkout. And it has gotten to the point where this protest against the so-called Don't Say Gay bill has reached all levels of that company, including woke ESPN, who staged a very cringe moment of silence for this bill live on air that I want to talk about. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my content and you want to support my content, you can do so using the links in the description below. You can support the Patreon, you can support the PayPal, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so, including getting yourself one of my signature racist mugs, which is a daily reminder of the 2022 definition of racist according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. So with that being said, let's go ahead and roll this clip of ESPN, which is owned by Disney, holding a cringe moment of silence live on air and doing an NCAA women's basketball game in opposition to the so-called Don't Say Gay bill. Take a look.
Legislation happening in Florida and across other states as well that are targeting our LGBTQI plus communities. Many of our colleagues here at ESPN have planned and organized a walkout that will be happening at 3 p.m. Eastern today. And to be honest with you, we thought we were going to come here today and really celebrate a sport that has meant so much and done so much, including for so many in the LGBTQI plus communities. But we understand the gravity of this legislation and also how it is affecting so many families across this country. And because of that, our allyship is going to take a front seat. And with that, we're going to pause in solidarity.
Courtney Lyle, Carolyn Peck. Now, normally at this time, we would take a look back at the first half, but there are things bigger than basketball that need to be addressed at this time. Our friends, our family, our coworkers, the players and coaches in our community are hurting right now. And at 3 o'clock, about 8 minutes ago, our LGBTQIA plus teammates at Disney asked for our solidarity and support, including our company's support, in opposition to the Parental Rights in Education bill in the state of Florida and similar legislation across the United States.
And a threat to any human rights is a threat to all human rights. And at this time, Courtney and I, we're going to take a pause from our broadcast to show our love and support for our friends, our families, and our colleagues.
Yeah, so they went on to stage like a 2-minute moment of silence while the women's basketball players were playing basketball on the court. Now, I'm not sure if anybody noticed that, nobody was commentating, because I'm not sure if anybody was actually watching. But for those who were watching, maybe they did notice it. Okay, and again, what I find to be fascinating about this stuff is what these people choose to be outraged about. They're literally outraged. They're holding a moment of silence because teachers can't talk to kids about sex. I want you guys to understand, they're holding a moment of silence because teachers can't talk to kindergartners through third graders about gender ideology, right? They're holding a moment of silence because teachers can't talk to kindergartners through third graders about who they like to sleep with. They're holding a moment of silence because teachers can't talk to kindergartners through third graders about whether or not they like the genitalia they were actually born with. Bruh, this is what the left is concerned about. These are the issues that they think are worth protesting over. It's amazing. These people are really upset about the fact that they can't indoctrinate children. They're pissed off about it. They're pissed. They're actually really upset over this stuff. I can't believe it. I can't believe it because it's 2022. But at the same time, the optimist in me does not believe that rational human beings really support stuff like this. Do you really support kids being able to talk about sex with their teachers in kindergarten? Do you really support that? That is what these people are supporting. Okay? And again, the irony here is that all of this comes after news broke that 4 Disney employees were involved in a human trafficking bust that involved children as the victims. Take a look.
Good morning, everyone.
It took 6 days for the sheriff's office to find 108 people trying to buy or sell sex in Polk County.
Then there's Xavier Jackson. He's 27.
He is accused of sending sexual images to someone he thought was a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, did I mention that he just happens to be a lifeguard at the Polynesian Resort for Disney? You think there's a few children around there?
Sheriff Grady Judd identified several other Disney employees accused of soliciting a prostitute.
This is the Honorable Daniel Peters.
Sheriff Judd said Peters is a retired judge from Cook County, Illinois, who thought he was meeting up with an escort.
He said, quote, "I've been on the other side of this." Well, I'd like to ask him today, so which side do you like best?
In one case, detectives had to reschedule a meeting. The sheriff says Bradenton's Seth Phillips demanded money anyway and showed up at the house with his girlfriend and a gun.
We opened the door with 4 of our guys with guns, and he's got a gun above his head. He's coming down with his gun. Christina saves his life by jumping in front of him.
Nobody was hurt, but they were both taken into custody.
Yeah, so you can't make this up, guys. 4 Disney employees among 108 people that were arrested in Florida, human trafficking sting. Okay, again, this is literally as these people are walking out in protest of a bill that stops teachers from being able to have inappropriate conversations with kids, children in school. Okay, I get it. It's just so funny how this stuff works. It's just so funny how it works. This is what your employees are caught up in while you're protesting a bill that basically is designed to protect children. You have actual predators working for your company, right? Again, your ducks are not in a row. Your priorities are out of line. So let's read about this. Detectives in Polk County, Florida, say dozens were arrested during an operation focused on human trafficking, prostitution, and child predators. The 6-day operation, dubbed Operation March Sadness 2, began March 8th and resulted in 108 arrests, according to a sheriff office news release. 4 suspects are Disney employees, the sheriff office said. Quote, Xavier Jackson, 27, worked as a lifeguard at the Polynesian resort for Walt Disney. Jude said Jackson sent inappropriate photos of himself and messages to an undercover detective who pretended to be a 14-year-old girl. He was charged with 3 counts of transmitting harmful material to a minor and 1 count of unlawful communication, CBS News report. So listen, here's the thing. I wonder, do these Disney employees support this? Does ESPN support this? Okay, do they support people, their employees, sending inappropriate messages and photos of themselves to minors? Because they're cool with teachers having inappropriate conversations with minors about sex, okay? Are they cool with their employees talking to minors about sex, right? That's what I want to know. I want to know, do they support this? Because according to the logic here, I think that they do. It does sound like they support this, right? Which is why you're not hearing anything about this, okay? You're not hearing anything about this. Quote, the 3 others who were allegedly attempted to solicit a prostitute were identified by Jude as Wilkinson Fidel, 24, who worked at the cosmetic restaurant at Walt Disney World's Tomorrowland for 4 years. Stebaham Malave, 27, who is on a visa citizenship from India and worked as a software developer for Disney, and Ralph Leese, 45, who spent nearly 4 years working in IT for Disney, the report reads. Undercover detectives communicated online with the suspects and arranged for a meetup at a location where they were arrested after their arrival. One couple traveled as far as Brandington to receive $1,000 for sex, Fox 35 Orlando reports. Quote, the arrest of a human trafficker and 4 child predators alone makes this whole operation worthwhile, Polk County Sheriff Grady Jude said during a news conference Wednesday. Where there is prostitution, there is exploitation, disease, dysfunction, and broken families. Yeah. So Disney employees out here trying to solicit sex from prostitutes and or trying to inappropriately communicate with minors, and there's crickets, right? You don't have any moment of silence being held for the fact that stuff like that is happening, okay? You don't have any moments of silence for stuff like that. Just in general, when it comes to the dangerous effects and harmful effects towards children when it comes to this type of behavior, okay, that their employees are engaging in. Again, I find it fascinating what these people choose to care about and what they choose not to care about. Okay, they care about being able to indoctrinate children, but when it comes to real crimes and real issues that affect kids, okay, that all of society should be concerned about, this is crickets. It's silence. You don't hear anything about it. You will never hear anything about it. They will never acknowledge what happened there. Okay, but again, it just goes to show that the left and their priorities are simply out of line, and I just find it hilarious what they choose to care about and what Democrats are choosing to campaign on and attach themselves in 2022. I don't think that this is a winning strategy for them, okay? Being for teachers talking to kids, kindergartners about sex and gender identity, I don't think that's a winning subject. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I'll let them roll with it, okay? But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.